right. I still have Olympic fever. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I can't help myself. I have the fever. I have the fever so bad that I'm trying to figure out how I can get to Vancouver. I can't, though, because I've got so much work to do, and I'm already going to be traveling the next few weeks to all points across this great land of ours, and Vancouver is not on the itinerary, but oh, how I wish it was. Oh, it's fantastic. It's just fantastic. I do feel bad for them in the sense that they're not getting enough cold and snow. It's all over on the east side of the States. But other than that, it's spectacular. I'm addicted to it. Okay, a couple things. Number one, hey, welcome to the Daily Tip, of course. Yes, no, really. Guys, you look fantastic, first of all. You all just look great. We have the best looking studio audience. We really do. But seriously, a couple things. Number one, again, the Victoria, British Columbia mug. Shout out to Vancouver. I'm sorry, it's just so good up there. And to all the parents that are up there, and family and friends rooting on their kids. I mean, how spectacular is that? What the feeling must be just filled. The feeling must be filled. It must be a feeling of complete and utter emotional overwhelmment, if that is even a phrase. Because I can't imagine what it must be like to be with your kids their whole life and watch them train and support them and be part of that ritual to go to not only the Olympics but to competition, and how challenging that can be in terms of your schedule, but also financially and as a family. And then to be at the Olympics, just to be there, forget about winning and getting a medal, but to be there, that must be a constant goosebump moment. I can't imagine what parents must feel like watching their kids compete. And then to add another layer, to watch your kid win an event and be up there on the stands. I mean, I get all crazy excited for them and emotional, and if I had hair on the back of my neck, it would stand up. It's incredible. A big shout out to all those people that are involved with competing, from people at the front lines of competition to the parents, the coaches, the friends, the family. It's incredible. Okay, I'll try to keep my fever down, fever pitch down. See if I can take some medication for it. But I have another thing that I have fever about, and that, my friends, is the Barefoot Contessa, Garten. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you know my need to get rid of some of the chunky monkey that's going on. We got a little bit of the chunky monkey happening, and we've had it happening for quite some time, and it's only getting worse because of stuff like this. One of the things that I try to give up is sugar, and that is a really hard thing. I don't want to say, no, not give up, cut back, because in my world, giving up sugar is not a reality. Cutting back is a possibility. Well, Barefoot Contessa, Garten, you know how I love you, but when you create products like the brownie pudding mix, it is the work of the devil. It doesn't help me. It really doesn't help me. I love it so much. And if you haven't had it, don't try it. It's awful. It's just really, it's just like, it tastes like dirt. You're gonna want to spit it out. It's a waste of your money. It's so good. It just makes you cry. It's so good. And you know, I've loved Garten from the start. I just think that she is amazing, and Jeffrey, her husband, is the luckiest man on the planet. I dream of being in her home. I dream of, in my dream, I'm cooking with her. Yeah. And then we're sitting down, having a fantastic meal with some sort of delicious sparkling alcoholic beverage. And Jeffrey, you can come if you want, but it'd be best if it was just Ina and I. But if you want to be there, that's fine. But, and have you seen her house? Have you watched her on the Food Network? She has an incredible home and a beautiful kitchen. And then she does stuff like this, which doesn't help me. I'm just saying it. It's a public service announcement. Ina, it's not helping. Okay, let's get to tip of the day. The reason why we're all here, and of course, the tip of the day music or sound or whatever that was. I don't know what it was. February 17th, tip of the day, start a design and inspiration file. I cannot tell you how helpful that is. I do it as a designer, as a professional, and I categorize my inspiration file by room. You know, kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms, family rooms, kids' rooms, garages, home offices, all that stuff. And the reason that I say this is a couple of things. Number one, this is a fantastic way to get rid of clutter, because you know how you get all the magazines, and I get a ton of them, and you sort of, you know, stack them up, and you're thinking, I'm going to get to them, I'm going to get to them, and you don't look through all the magazines, you don't see everything that's in there sometimes. So a great tip is go through your magazines, whether it's a cooking magazine or a design magazine. The minute you see something you love, cut it out. Cut it out and start a filing system. It's really simple. All you have to do is just, you know, figure out how you want to file it, but create separate files for different rooms and just cut it out and put it right into that file. So when you have to go back and think about designing a certain space, like a kitchen, especially kitchens and bathrooms, because sometimes they take a lot of work and money depending on the scale of your remodel, you actually have a file that you can pull for inspiration. Now if you have time, what I like to do on my files is actually put sticky notes or little notes on the actual picture that I cut out about the things that I like and what I'm actually looking for. Because when I'm talking with a client and I'm trying to get a point across and they're not sure what I mean, I can pull out pictures from the inspiration file or pictures from my portfolio. But the inspiration file is fantastic because they may have a single item in that inspiration picture that is the one thing that I want to address. And it's the same thing when you're designing your space. There might be this fantastic coffee table that you saw in a room setup, and you thought, well, this worked beautifully in my room. And it was so spectacular, you thought, well, you know what, I'll remember it. You won't. Unless you are a superhuman being, and maybe you are, I am not. So the files really help. And also, visiting your design inspiration files is a really great way to kind of jumpstart even moving your furniture around, because you can see new ways of placing things in your own home. And of course, that is the least expensive transformation you can make. It's free. So start an inspiration file. It'll help you tremendously. Also, when you're going out to shop for furniture, it'll help you. So that is the tip of the day. We have a couple of questions. One is from Jen in Milwaukee. Jen, how are you? She says, can you please, the capital please at the end and lots of exclamation points, give some apartment dweller tips. Well, you know what? You're in luck, Jen, because this week on the Friday 5, it's all about apartment dwellers. So I'm not going to give you an answer now, but tune in on the Friday 5 because it is the top 5 apartment dweller tips. And as a matter of fact, even if you're not an apartment dweller, they're perfect for you because it's about maximizing your space, doing things that don't cost a lot, and also finding ways to redecorate your space without having to paint your walls, because a lot of apartment dwellers can't paint. And we have another question from Steve in Napa Valley. Steve, Napa, really? Really, Steve? Oh, Napa. That is like catnip. That's just as bad as this. I've never been to Napa Valley. I know, hard to believe, because that is a place that I want to go to so badly. Steve says, where do you film the Daily Tip at? Steve, really? Do you actually think we're in a studio? All right, let me break it down for you, Steve. I am in my living room talking to a flip camera. That's it. That's it. No lighting, no camera people, no makeup people, no producer, and no studio audience. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, so those are the questions of the day. And of course, we'll see you here tomorrow on, right? Yeah, the Daily Tip.